I often think like I would love to have the stamina and the energy I had in my 20s, but I would never want the brain that I had then. I have so much more wisdom, agency. I know how to do things. You know, whatever life throws at me, I'm like, all right, this is kind of like when that other thing happened and I know how to handle it. Like I was just a fucking anxious mess for most of my 20s and 30s. And I feel like it wasn't until I got to my mid to late 40s that I felt like, a certain level of maturity and mastery of things. So that's how I've changed, and definitely like worked on myself as far as like my temper and my expectations of other people. And for a long time, I had this thing where if I had a falling out with a friend, that was it forever. If you pissed me off or hurt me or even disagreed with me in some cases, like that was the end of the friendship. It's not a healthy way to live. It's not productive. It doesn't serve you if you go through life. And I think one of the things that taught me the most, there's a book called The Velvet Rage
Hmm.
that almost every gay man reads at a certain point in his life.
Alan Downs, a
That's
clinical
right.
psychologist, The Velvet Rage, Overcoming the Pain of Growing Up Gay in a Straight Man's World.
But he's a psychologist who specializes in treating gay men. And it explains the gay male psyche. What it teaches you is that when you're a gay man from any generation, but particularly, pre now, let's say, you're taught that you're wrong from the earliest age. Everything about you is wrong, not just your sexuality, but as a group, we tend to be different from other boys in terms of our interests, in terms of our affinities, our emotionality. Like there's all kinds of ways in which we differ, and we're told, even if we have great supportive liberal parents, we're told by society like there's something wrong with you, and we internalize that as shame. Therefore, if someone criticizes us even the tiniest bit, it's like, how dare you criticize me? Like we have no we don't have thick skin at all. We are so easily wounded because we grew up in this defensive, anxious stance of like, don't, please just love me and accept me and don't criticize me. And when you learn that like criticism isn't hatred, criticism isn't like shame necessarily. Criticism can be really helpful and true. And once you learn that, then you can like have a relationship where someone says, "Hey, I don't really like it when you do that thing." And
I
it doesn't mean you hate me. It just means like this is your experience and I have to take that in. But seventh grade, man, I went to a new school and suddenly I was on a school bus every morning where I was terrorized every single day. I arrived at school in tears every single day for a year. And the prevailing thought then among adults was you have to just let this happen and the kid will toughen up and learn to navigate this on his own, which is such terrible thinking. When I first came out, which was in college, and I would go to a gay bar and see guys dancing with each other and kissing and holding hands, it freaked me out. Like
uh,
I had sucked a dick many times and that felt totally normal to me, but seeing two guys kiss, I was like, whoa, that's weird. I had a lot of friends that were definitely not gay and are still not gay, that would fool around with me. So I just thought this is like a way that boys play and get off, but it doesn't mean we're gay. And I had like crushes on girls. I dated girls. I had girlfriends. I ended up having sex with a bunch of girls in later high school and college. So I thought the fact that I was capable of having sex with a girl and having feelings for a girl meant that I was straight or possibly bisexual. Sometimes I would allow myself to think, oh, maybe you're bi, but I never thought I was gay because I had an idea of what gay was and it wasn't me. What happens is what experts call condom fatigue, and you just get tired of always being so safe and careful because that's not really what sex is for. Sex is about like sort of
right,
losing
yeah,
yourself and
right.
being intimate, like really intimate with another person and feeling every part of them. And I started taking chances. And when I tested positive in 2005, I was shocked because I wasn't taking a lot of chances. And I thought the chances that I was taking were negligible, but I know that I wasn't following all the rules. This is something I take issue with.
Oh,
I do think there are good things about being masculine. I think being confident, being competitive, having, for me, wisdom is masculine. There are certain things that I think, we shouldn't be punishing men for aspiring to. And what's happened in gay male culture is, first of all, we're not even supposed to say gay anymore. We're supposed to say queer. And it's this huge umbrella that includes trans people and non-binary people and people who are gender fluid and sexually fluid. And for someone of my generation, that feels a little bit like a loss, because there was something very special about being part of a community that was just gay men. But then there are people like me who just like, I'm a guy, I've always been a guy, I'm a gay guy, and I'm very gay, but like there's no part of me that wants to be a woman or identifies with women or wants to dress in feminine ways. When I go to Brooklyn these days, if you look at the queer community, all the guys have nail polish, they're all wearing dresses, they're all they sort of shun what they would describe as toxic masculinity. Whereas for me, it's not toxic, it's just the way I am and the way I want to be.